Thank you. I want to start by saying I'm not prejudiced or bigoted against the media. That's not possible. Some of my best friends work in the media. I think the media can do a lot of great and amazing work. They can educate us, inform us, encourage us, entertain us, and give us the right irrits in places like talkback radio and reality TV. It reflects society. The media is our mirror. Sometimes it shows us looking our getting ready for the Walkleys impressive and coiffed, and sometimes it shows us in our hungover, straight out of bed ugliness. That's what a mirror does, just shows us who we are. But there are some things the media can't do. It cannot single-handedly bring about long-term structural change in society. It can help in its own way. It can shine a light on problem areas, and it can facilitate conversations, but it cannot prevent violence against women. And this is not a criticism of the media or an indication of its failings. It's unfair to expect that the media can prevent violence against women. This is something that requires a whole of society approach. It's like saying that the police can prevent violence against women or that the government can. All of these groups or institutions have a role to play, but none can prevent all violence against women alone. Preventing violence against women requires a seismic societal shift, one that requires not the media, but education campaigns of children. This is because violence against women is rooted in gender-based discrimination and norms. It's the way society views not just females, but the power relationships between males and females, from birth until death. It's not just about male control over females, but also about societal tolerance of violence against women. Here's a quote from the United Nations with their advice on preventing violence against women. Prevention of violence against women should start early in life by educating and working with young boys and girls in promoting respectful relationships and gender equality. Working with youth is a best bet for faster, sustained progress on preventing and eradicating gender-based violence. While public policies and interventions often overlook this stage of life, it is a critical time when values and norms around gender equality are forged. The UN recommends curriculum starting for children at just 5 years of age. And this makes sense. Research, and the other speakers have said, research shows that countries with the closest gender equality also have the lowest rates of violence against women. The media cannot implement gender equality. Gender equality requires a whole of society change that begins, as the United Nations recommends, with education programs starting with very young children. So right from the time they are tiny, they are conscious of and reject gender stereotyping and derogatory attitudes towards women. It requires a deep digging into not just the way that women are viewed, but the way men are. We need a societal shift on how we understand masculinity. What it means to be masculine can only be understood when we understand what it means to be feminine. This is because the two are opposites. They require each other to exist. We have no frame of reference for masculine if we don't have a frame of reference for feminine. Masculinity, as Leslie mentioned, in our culture requires a man to be tough, brave, not cry and aggressive, because they are the opposite of how we culturally understand feminine, emotional, passive, weak. The good thing about these traits is that despite what we are made to believe, they are not set in stone. They are not necessarily innate. If they were innate, we wouldn't have to say to our tearful little boys, "Stop it, boys don't cry," or "Man up." Similarly, we wouldn't have to say to little girls who are too boisterous, "Act like a lady." If these things were innate, that social conditioning wouldn't be required. But as we can see from these examples, the social conditioning starts very, very young, and this is where it needs to be caught. This is not something the media can do. The media can assist, but they cannot single-handedly change society's long-held views on the power relationship of men and women and thus prevent violence. Maybe one day the media will offer the sexism version of The Biggest Loser, where contestants will battle it out to shed their excess their excess toxic masculinity led on by their screaming feminist trainers. And as a side note, I'd like to put my name forward right now to be one of those trainers if anyone from Channel 10 is here. The contestants will undergo tough activity courses where they must swing from ropes made up by quotes by Roxanne Gay and Germaine Greer, and be put in temptation rooms where degrading ideas about women are displayed, and the contestants have to try to resist them or give in to the sweet allure of misogyny. The winner won't receive a crown because that is problematically classist for the Marxist feminists, and instead the winners will be rewarded by drafting legislation to increase funding to domestic violence shelters. But even if it does, and fingers crossed ladies, that would just be the media reflecting what is already happening in society, not creating it. Don't ask the media to do what it can't. We need to ask all of ourselves what we can do instead. Thank you.